Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Redo podcast.
Hello, friends. We are very happy you are here today.
Yes, we are. This podcast is a place where you can learn simple and natural English.
We speak slowly, we use easy words.
So you can listen, understand, and improve your English step by step.
You can listen while walking, cooking, or relaxing at home.
Today, we have a very helpful topic.
Yes, today we will talk about something we all face in life.
Problems.
Yes, problems are part of life.
Sometimes problems make us worried.
Sometimes they make us angry.
Sometimes they make us confused.
But today we will talk about how we solve problems calmly.
When we stay calm, our mind works better.
And when our mind works better, we find good solutions.
So today we will share ideas, examples, and a motivational story.
The story will show how calm thinking can change a difficult situation.
So relax, listen carefully, and enjoy learning English with us. Jake, let me ask you a question.
Sure, Anna.
Do you sometimes feel stressed when you have a problem?
Yes, of course. Everyone does.
That is true.
When I have a problem, my first feeling is often stress.
Many people feel the same way.
Sometimes the problem feels very big.
Yes, even a small problem can feel big when we worry too much.
Exactly.
But I learned something important.
What did you learn?
Problems are easier to solve when we stay calm.
That is very true.
When we panic, we cannot think clearly.
Our mind becomes noisy.
Yes, like a room full of people talking at the same time.
But when we calm down, the mind becomes quiet.
And then we can think.
Then we can solve the problem step by step.
Let's talk about a simple example.
Okay.
Imagine you are late for work.
That happens to many people.
Yes, your alarm did not ring.
You wake up late.
You look at the clock and think, oh no.
You feel stress.
Your heart beats fast.
Your mind says everything is going wrong.
But if you stop and breathe slowly, something changes.
Yes.
You start thinking calmly.
You ask yourself simple questions.
For example, what can I do now?
Can I still get to work?
Can I call my boss?
Can I take a taxi?
When we ask questions, we start solving the problem.
Exactly. Step 1.
Stop and breathe. The first step to solving problems calmly is to stop and breathe.
That sounds simple, but it is powerful.
Yes.
When we breathe slowly, our body relaxes.
Our heart slows down.
Our mind becomes clear.
Sometimes I close my eyes for a few seconds.
That is a good idea.
I take a deep breath.
Then another breath.
And suddenly, the problem feels smaller.
Step 2. Understand the problem.
Yes, many people react quickly without understanding.
But calm people ask questions first.
For example, what happened?
Why did it happen? What can I do now? These questions help us see the situation clearly.
Sometimes the problem is not as big as we think.
Step 3. Think about solutions.
Yes, not just one solution.
Try to think of 2 or 3 solutions.
For example,
If your car breaks down, you can call a mechanic.
you can call a friend.
You can take a bus.
See? Many options.
When we see options, we feel less stressed. Step 4. Take one small action.
After thinking about solutions, we take one small action.
Small steps are very powerful.
Yes,
One small action starts progress.
and progress gives confidence. Now, Jake, I want to share a story.
I love stories.
This is a story about a man named David.
David lived in a small town.
He worked in a small repair shop.
David was a quiet man.
He was known for one special thing.
What was it?
He stayed calm in difficult situations.
That is a great skill.
Yes, but David was not always calm.
Really?
Yes, when he was young, he worried about everything.
Many people do.
One day, a big problem happened in his life.
What happened?
David lost his job.
That is very stressful.
Yes, he felt scared and confused.
What did he do?
At first, he panicked.
That is a normal reaction.
But then something interesting happened.
What happened?
His grandfather gave him simple advice.
What was the advice?
His grandfather said, "Problems are like storms. If you stay calm, the storm will pass."
That is a beautiful message.
David did not fully understand at first.
But later he learned.
Yes, and that lesson changed his life. We also started a story about a man named David. David lost his job,
He felt scared and confused.
but his grandfather gave him simple advice.
The advice was very powerful.
His grandfather said, "Problems are like storms. If you stay calm, the storm will pass."
That is a beautiful lesson.
After losing his job, David went home.
He sat quietly in his small room.
His mind was full of worries.
He thought about money.
He thought about the future.
He thought about his family.
His heart was beating fast.
He felt pressure.
But then he remembered his grandfather's words.
Stay calm.
David closed his eyes.
He took a deep breath.
Then he took another breath.
Slowly his body relaxed.
His mind became quiet.
Then he asked himself a simple question.
What can I do now? David took a piece of paper.
He wrote down his problem.
My problem? I lost my job.
Then he wrote another question.
What are my options?
Option 1, find another job.
Option 2, learn a new skill.
Option 3, start a small business.
David looked at the paper
Suddenly the problem felt smaller,
because now he had choices.
and choices give hope.
The next morning, David woke up early,
He still felt worried.
but he remembered to stay calm.
He made a simple plan.
Step 1, look for jobs.
Step 2, talk to friends.
Step 3, learn something new.
David started with step 1.
David visited some repair shops.
He asked if they needed workers.
Some shops said no,
David felt a little sad.
but he stayed calm.
He remembered the storm,
Storms do not last forever.
so he kept trying.
One day, David visited a library.
He saw a book about fixing bicycles.
David liked bicycles,
He enjoyed repairing things.
so he started reading.
He learned new skills.
He practiced every day.
After some weeks, David had an idea.
What was the idea?
He wanted to start a small bicycle repair service.
That is a great idea.
Yes,
He started small.
very small.
He repaired bicycles in his garage.
Friends came first.
Then neighbors came.
Slowly, more people heard about David.
But one day, something bad happened.
Oh no.
A customer came with an expensive bicycle,
David tried to fix it.
but he made a mistake.
The bicycle broke even more.
The customer became angry.
Very angry.
David felt nervous.
His hands started shaking.
But then he remembered something.
Stay calm.
David took a deep breath.
He spoke slowly.
He said, "I am sorry. I made a mistake."
I will fix the problem.
The customer looked at him,
The customer was still angry.
but David stayed calm.
He worked carefully.
He fixed the bicycle.
Finally, the bicycle worked perfectly.
The customer smiled.
The customer said, "Thank you for being honest."
That moment changed something.
People started trusting David.
They liked his calm attitude.
They liked his honesty.
More customers came.
His small repair service became popular.
Jake, what do we learn from David's story?
We learned that calm thinking helps us find solutions.
Yes,
Panic does not help.
but calm action helps.
David had many problems.
But he solved them step by step. Now, let's practice some English sentences.
Listen and repeat if you want.
I stay calm.
I think clearly.
I solve problems step by step.
I look for solutions.
I take small actions.
I learn from mistakes.
Very good. When was the last time you solved a problem calmly?
Last week,
What happened?
my computer stopped working.
That can be stressful.
Yes, at first I felt frustrated.
But then?
I stopped and took a deep breath.
Good.
Then I checked the cables.
And?
One cable was loose.
That was the problem.
Yes, a small problem.
But calm thinking helped you find it.
Exactly.
Many problems look big.
But often they are small.
We only need calm thinking
And patience.
and small steps. But one day, David faced a bigger problem.
A bigger problem?
Yes.
What happened?
One morning, David opened his garage. He looked around and he felt worried
Why?
because he had too many bicycles to fix. Too many? Yes.
That sounds like a good problem.
Yes, but David was alone.
He had no workers.
He had too much work.
He felt pressure.
David looked at the bicycles.
10 bicycles needed repair.
Customers were waiting.
Some customers needed their bikes today.
David felt nervous.
His mind started racing.
He thought, I cannot do this.
I have too much work.
I will disappoint people.
But then something important happened.
David stopped.
He closed his eyes.
He took a slow breath.
Then another breath.
He remembered his grandfather's words.
Stay calm during the storm.
David opened his eyes.
Now he felt a little calmer.
David took a notebook.
He wrote down the work.
Bike number 1.
Bike number 2.
Bike number 3.
He made a list.
Then he made a plan.
First, fix the easy repairs.
Second, fix the medium repairs.
Third, work on the difficult repairs.
Now the work looked more organized.
The problem felt smaller.
But David also had another idea.
What was it?
He thought about asking for help.
That is a smart idea.
Many people forget this.
Yes,
Sometimes we try to do everything alone.
but asking for help is not weakness.
It is wisdom.
One afternoon, a young boy came to the garage.
The boy looked curious.
He watched David fix a bicycle.
The boy said, "Can I learn how to repair bikes?"
David smiled.
He asked the boy's name.
The boy said, "My name is Leo."
Leo was very interested in bicycles.
David had an idea, a new beginning. David said, "Leo, you can help me."
Leo's eyes became bright.
He felt excited.
David showed him simple tasks.
Cleaning tools,
Holding parts.
watching repairs,
Leo learned quickly.
working together. Soon, David and Leo worked together every day.
Leo helped with small repairs.
David focused on bigger repairs.
The work became easier. Customers received their bicycles faster. The garage became a busy place.
A happy customer. One day, a woman came to the shop.
Her bicycle was very old.
She said, "This bike is very special to me."
Can you fix it?
David looked carefully.
The bicycle needed many repairs.
But David stayed calm.
He said, "Yes, I will try."
David and Leo worked together.
They cleaned the bike.
They fixed the wheels.
They repaired the chain.
After some hours, the bicycle looked new again.
The woman smiled with joy.
She said, "Thank you. This bike belonged to my father."
That means a lot to me.
David felt proud.
The power of calm thinking. Anna, what do we learn from this part of the story?
We learned that calm thinking helps us find solutions.
Yes,
David had too much work.
but he did not panic.
He made a plan. He asked for help. And everything improved. English speaking practice. Now let's practice some simple English sentences. You can repeat after us if you want. I stay calm.
I breathe slowly.
I think clearly.
I make a plan.
I take small steps.
I solve problems.
Very good. A positive mindset. Jake, I think one important thing is mindset.
Yes, mindset is very important.
If we think, I cannot solve this, we feel weak.
But if we think, I will try, we feel stronger.
Our thoughts change our actions.
And our actions change our results.
Months passed.
David's small garage became very busy.
More and more people came to repair their bicycles.
People trusted David.
They liked his calm personality,
They liked his honesty.
and they liked his good work.
One day, David looked around his garage.
He saw many bicycles.
He saw happy customers.
He smiled.
He remembered something.
What did he remember?
The day he lost his job.
That day felt very dark.
But now his life was different.
One afternoon, a man visited the garage.
The man wore a business suit.
He looked around carefully.
Then he spoke to David.
He said, "I like your repair shop."
I see many customers here.
The man had an idea.
What idea?
He wanted to invest in David's business.
That means he wanted to help David open a bigger shop.
David was surprised.
Very surprised.
David felt nervous again.
This was a big decision.
A bigger shop meant more responsibility,
More workers,
more customers.
more pressure.
For a moment, David felt worried.
But then he remembered his habit.
Stay calm. David did not answer immediately.
He said, "Please give me some time to think."
That night, David went home.
He sat quietly.
He took a deep breath.
He asked himself simple questions.
Is this a good opportunity?
Can I manage a bigger shop?
Can I help more people?
David thought carefully.
Talking with Leo. The next day, David spoke with Leo.
Leo listened carefully.
Leo said something interesting.
What did he say?
He said, David, you always solve problems calmly.
You can solve this one too.
David smiled.
Leo believed in him.
After thinking carefully, David made a decision.
He accepted the opportunity.
Soon, the new bicycle repair shop opened.
It was bigger.
It had more tools.
It had more workers.
Leo also continued working with David.
Now Leo was learning more skills.
David's shop became very popular.
People came from different areas.
Some people could not pay much money.
But David helped them anyway.
He believed in kindness.
He believed in helping others.
Remembering the past. One evening, David sat outside his shop.
The sun was going down.
Leo sat next to him.
Leo asked a question.
David, how did you become so calm?
David smiled.
He said something simple.
He said, I was not always calm.
But life taught me a lesson.
What lesson?
David said, when problems come, panic makes things worse.
But calm thinking shows the solution.
Jake, I love this story.
Me too.
It shows something very important.
Yes.
Problems are not the end,
Sometimes problems create new opportunities.
but only if we stay calm.
And think clearly.
Now, let's practice some simple sentences.
You can repeat if you want.
Problems are part of life.
I stay calm.
I breathe slowly.
I think about solutions.
I take small steps.
I keep moving forward.
Very good. Everyone listening has problems.
Yes, that is true.
Students have problems.
Workers have problems.
Families have problems.
But problems are also teachers.
They teach us patience.
They teach us strength.
They teach us wisdom. If you have a problem today, remember this.
Stop for a moment.
Take a deep breath.
Calm your mind.
Look at the problem clearly.
Find one small step.
Then another step.
Soon you will see progress.
Thank you for listening to the English Reader podcast.
We hope you enjoyed today's story.
And we hope you learned some useful English.
Remember, learning English is also a journey.
Sometimes it feels difficult.
But stay calm.
Practice every day,
Take small steps.
and you will improve.
Thank you for learning with us.
See you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye and keep learning.